At 15, I had no idea what I was doing, but I did know if I could look better, it could probably help me in some kind of way and I'd feel better. 7 years later, I designed custom-built full wardrobes for the ultra-high net worth men of this world. And here are some of the lessons I've learned as I've evolved through my style journey, the full story, the good, the bad, and the pinstripes. And here's what you can take from it. Beginning with the first step, chapter 1, the first spark. I was probably about 14, 15 years old. I had just discovered this lovely blog called The Art of Manliness. They're not as active as they used to be, but once upon a time, they were the people to go to for everything that was manly. They did workouts, they did the outfits, stuff that your father should have taught you. And honestly, it was a blessing. I spent hours and hours just going away, digging through this blog, finding everything I could possibly know about being a man. And it was amazing. It was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And without that blog, I'm not the same. And also at that time, freshman year of high school comes around. The very first dance I'm ever going to was like a prom or something silly, something small. I went by myself even. That's how pathetic I was. The day of, I didn't even know I was going to prom till the day of and a girl ghosted me. But the day of, or the day before, I don't remember which, I needed a suit. So my mother brings me to this place I'd heard about that sold hats, and I'd wanted a hat at one time, so I found out about this place. And yeah, I was like, I need a suit. And there's this guy named Keith, just an amazing guy. He's done retail for over 30 years in the St. Paul, Minneapolis area, and he killed it. $400, my mom paid it. Thank you, Mom. I got a black suit with a white shirt and a purple tie and a white pocket square. A beautiful setup for a young kid that just didn't know any better. Horrible thing to do to a salesperson, by the way, is walk in and demand a suit within 30 minutes. I didn't demand anything, but they had a suit for me within an hour of me being there, done and completed. I was super lucky that I only needed the friggin' hems on the pants done. Otherwise, I would have been out of luck, and I hope you don't do the same. And one of the other big lessons I've learned in that same period of time, how to shop on a budget. This was the time when I was working in the summers, but if I got rained out, I got rained out and I got no money. And I was laying sod, doing labor, construction, and all that. And it was great, it was fun, but I was trying to buy clothes, I was trying to pay for a car, gas, I was going back and forth from school, 45 minutes each way. It was a lot. Point is, I didn't have a whole ton of money running around. And I was trying to buy things on the budget, and so I learned through thrift stores, Salvation Armies, buying on eBay, Spear McKay's clearance sales, because I couldn't even afford Spear McKay's normal pricing. I built a little wardrobe. I hadn't had any clothes given to me outside of gifts from basically 8th grade onward, and I just had to kind of scrimp and scrounge for everything. My dad doesn't wear clothes like I do, my mom obviously doesn't, and I had no older brothers to pass down things to me. I was it. And so I built it all from scratch, and it was really one of the proudest things I've ever done, is learn how to buy on a budget and how to value a dollar properly. Maybe it's given me a shopping addiction now, but we'll get to that later. And it comes upon, you know, junior year, summer, going into senior year, and I buy my first custom suit. At Jaime's, again, with Keith, who had helped me before, I bought a beautiful custom navy suit with a rose gold pinstripe with fabric from Drago. This gorgeous suit made in Canada, double-breasted, 6-on-2, flat front pants. It was immaculate, and it fit me amazing. Fun fact, I still own the pants, but they have a massive hole in the seat because I wore them way too long. And that was my first custom suit. I was probably the youngest guy they ever sold a suit to who paid for it himself. I put all cash down. I was working for a farmer in Woodbury, a town around here, and really kind of worked my butt off to pay for that suit. My mother looked at me like I was crazy when she heard how much I paid for it. She was like, how are you gonna wear this? And I wore it for maybe 3 years and a lot of days at work, and it was great. And it's part of what drove me to have the image I did and to really care about how I looked, because people did treat me differently because I wore things that were truly amazing. Really was great because it taught me how great fit can make somebody feel and what the client feels when they get something that's done specifically for them and with the care that comes from somebody who knows what they're doing. So if you take any lesson from my early life, you should say, if you don't have any money, then you need to trade your time. And if you can't trade your time, then you need to outthink your budget and figure it out that way. Now let's move into lesson number 2, and that's my college years. This is about, you know, the 18 to 21 mark when I was still in school and I hadn't dropped out yet. I was still working on my career. I was a business student. I was a Catholic studies student. I did a lot of philosophy. It was really a cool time in my life, but looking back on it, bought clothes, right? I did things, I had fun, and I was still shopping on a budget all through freshman year. So not a lot changed there. I maybe evolved my taste a little bit. I had more ideas of where I wanted to go, how I wanted to do things. I wanted to get into the menswear space after school, after my career and all that. And I wanted to do something in business, because that's what I had been pushed to think about and pushed to look at my entire life as a child growing up with my parents. After freshman year, I do something in the summer. It's fun. It was to do with school and all that. And I come back and I've been shopping intermittently at Jaime's all this time. And about halfway through sophomore year, I have someone ask me from Jaime's, Keith, in fact, the manager, would you like to work for us? And after a couple months, he kept asking me because I would come in every once in a while, and he was serious about it. They needed people. This was after COVID. They had a really big swing of weddings, super busy, hundreds of suits in a month, trying to push them through the store. And I said yes, and that's really changed my life trajectory ever since then. That's probably why I didn't finish college. It showed me a different route to success. With Jaime's, I did part-time work for a solid year, 2 years, and it was just that. I was working 20 hours a week in school or out of school. And so that was cool. I learned a ton about selling face-to-face with Minnesotans, people who are notoriously hard to get dressed up, and they really don't value it to the same level that other cities do. And that's okay, but that was the cool challenge of my job, which was teaching people who had never dressed up in their life, guys who were 40, 50 years old, who had never even owned a suit, were the kind of people I was helping. And that was awesome. It was great. It taught me a lot. And it specifically taught me how to fit somebody, how to curate a look for somebody, how to put together looks, and how to keep options simple so that people are not frozen in the face of too many things. Because when you first get into menswear, when you first get into style, there's just too many things. And that's what I did really good at, was cutting down the options within the last year or so of me being there. Because I discovered guys do not care about their image to the extent of wanting to pick out the details. They just want the result that makes them look amazing, confident, and comfortable. So that's what I did. For a solid 2.5 years, I just smashed sales and I got good. I did as many sales as I could, talked to as many people as I could, and worked hard at it. And I did get good. By the last 6 months, I started working full time. I had quit all school and I had totally dropped out, took on a ton of debt, and I knew I could kill it. I was making crazy money. I was doing like $45 an hour after commission and all that. I was really doing decent. And I quit. I quit working a job that was making me $90,000 a year as a college dropout. Not crazy money, but not small either. Most college students struggle to get like $25 an hour while they're in school. I was selling $45 an hour in school, but I quit. And I quit for a couple reasons, but one of them was to start this business, Acme, and that was great. But honestly, I need to close out the Jaime's chapter first and saying what I learned. I learned that fit is incredibly important when it comes to fitting a client well and making them comfortable and confident, but also they need to consider their image and their goal highly, because you cannot stuff somebody into a suit. They need to slide into a suit, they need to be comfortable in it, and they need to feel as if it is their own, because it is. They're the ones paying for it, and they're the ones who are trying to exude a certain sort of image at the end of the day. So that's my Jaime's times. Real quick here, I'm inserting this, but I really need your help. If you truly find value in this, I need you to share this with your friends, Slack it to your coworkers, send it through the DMs, slip them in somewhere, and share it as far and wide as you can. Give it to those people who you think can take value from this, whose time is worth a lot, and who can take the biggest value from what it is that I do. Even if they don't shop with me, I still want to serve them, because these cost me a lot, but the impact has the potential to be so much bigger and so much further reaching than I am. I'm just one man, but my content can reach all of you. So please, let's share it, let's make it big, and I would love to help more people. Thank you. Let's get back into it. Let's move into now. So for about 6 months now, I've been operating Acme Clothiers, a totally new venture, doing something that's a little bit more unique, a little bit more niche, and something that very few people do. And I think almost nobody does at my level with my level of focus. And what Acme does is we service only ultra high net worth individuals, specifically men. And to break that down into terms, somebody who's ultra high net worth is worth $30 million or more. Typically more for my clients, because you need to have your time be worth so much money that you're probably losing 100 grand if you go shopping for clothing. And I know that's crazy to some people, but picture this. If you make $5 million in a year, your time is worth thousands of dollars an hour if you divide it by 2,000, which is the average amount of hours worked in an American work year. So if you go shopping for one day for 8 hours, you probably have burnt anywhere in the neighborhood of $16,000 to $50,000 United States dollars, not Canadian. And that's a big, big deal. That's a lot to toss away. Lest we forget that you have a second fitting and sometimes a third fitting. So you waste not only 8, not 16, but 24 hours, half a work week. For some people, that is quite literally $250,000 or more. That's insane. And that's maybe one outfit. So what I do with Acme is we show up, I have all the designs already designed for you, for a client, right? I have fabrics, I have what I want to make for them, and I have when am I gonna do it, and I only take 30 minutes of their time. I fit, I measure, and I'm done. You don't have to pick the linings, the buttons, the buttonholes, all the other crazy details, because it's not worth your time. It's up to me as a designer. And that's what Acme is. That's what Acme does. We curate time, we condense it, and we bring our expertise, our business, our book, our knowledge to you as a client to better prioritize you as somebody whose time really doesn't want to deal with the small decisions. Because again, if you're an ultra high net worth person, you make hundreds of decisions in a day. Your clothing shouldn't be a stressful one. So we try to make it as easy and as simple as we can for our clients to truly dress well, but easily doing so. And that's Acme. And what have I learned from Acme? A lot of things. First, it takes a lot more work than you think to win. But not work in hours put in or minutes produced or just general whatever. You're not clocking in and out anymore. You are always on. Any hour not worked in the business is an hour I'm stealing from myself in the future. But maybe you can take away this. Your time is worth more than you think it is. If you make decent money, you need to stop wasting it. If you're cleaning your own house and you make $100,000 a year, you're doing something wrong. If you're deciding on your clothing last minute and you have no system around your wardrobe, you're probably doing something wrong. And if you don't even know who you are or how you want to dress day in and day out, and you just pick the same things every day with no intent, you're probably doing something wrong, and I can help you with that. So that's my story. That's how I found my style. That's a few different lessons that I took from everything. And to break it down, first I learned the value of a dollar, shopping on a budget, how to shop on a budget, where to shop on a budget. The second part is condensing expertise, condensing time, and delivering a product that doesn't take as much work to a client, but still make them fit well, fit comfortably, and give them a luxury experience is truly the luxury of my business. It's not the goods, it's not me, it is how do I make you feel? And lastly, I've learned it takes a lot more work, it takes a lot more effort, and you have to provide a lot more value when you want to do it right. But at the end of the day, thank you all so much. You have a great day, a night, an evening, a love. Thank you.